Welcome back to another episode of Around Town. I'm your host, Sarah Olson, and today joining me is Amy O'Grady with Armstrong Air and Electric. She is the Business Development Manager. Welcome. How are
Thank
you?
you. Thanks for having me. I'm
You-
excited to be here.
Yeah, I heard you were just at a NEFPA meeting.
I was at their annual safety meeting.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. It is the best way to start your day is to be prepared.
Well, that's true. And safety in your business has got to be everything.
It definitely is. It's important to keep the team safe, to make sure that no matter what role you're in, that you're putting, the team and the client and the whole situation, at the forefront.
Yeah. You've been in the AC electrical. Is it air conditioning or just air and electrical?
Air and electrical.
Okay. So you've been in this space for a long time.
Yeah. So I like to say I'm one of those that was born in it.
Oh my goodness.
My father started as an air conditioning contractor.
Okay.
He started his own company. I went and worked for him for many years. He has since retired. So now I am in a larger role and taking on a chance in the industry to take on different avenues as far as electrical, now that we have that as our second line, and then just working more with contractors and builders now.
Oh, that's fantastic. So Armstrong, that sounds like a household name, Armstrong Air. How long has Armstrong been in business here?
So Armstrong has been serving the full state of Florida for over 30 years now.
Oh, wow.
Started in 1994.
Okay.
And just in this past year, we expanded this location in Nocatee. So,
fantastic.
Yeah. So
in our backyard.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
Just a great community to be part of. There's a lot of building happening there. We've actually, at Armstrong, been building in that community for many years. We've worked with a builder, Meritage. So we just thought it was time to expand and move into residential and more commercial projects.
Okay. So you do from the new construction, or you do servicing as well?
So we cover everything on those lines, from residential to commercial, industrial, new construction, multifamily. So we can handle it all.
Yeah. So Florida, let's talk about Florida and AC. So the best time, and we'll talk residential because that's pretty much all I know.
Yeah.
Residential. So when is the best time to really get your HVAC serviced, and some things to keep it running for a long period of time?
Yeah, that it really is determined around the climate in your area.
Okay.
We always suggest that it needs to happen not in the extreme, not in that extreme heat or extreme cold. That way you're getting ahead of everything before the season you're really in it. As you know, once you are, the availability and everything gets very thin.
Yeah. It's always at 2:00 on a Sunday when the AC comes
out.
And it's
never
110 degrees outside. And that's not the time when you should think about servicing.
I say we're not attached to our air conditioning unit until it's not working.
Yeah.
So you always want to make sure you're ahead of the problem per se. Things do need to be maintained. We always really think about putting it back at factory standards. So making sure we're cleaning, checking items that might, in a climate like this that has a lot of salt air, you see a lot more corrosion a lot sooner.
Right.
But we also have units that have really been engineered now to kind of fight those things as well. So some coastal coatings from different manufacturers that really kind of buy you a little extra time.
What type of manufacturers do you guys work with mostly?
So this really is determinant for us being a larger company and doing a lot of commercial and industrial. We can work with a lot of different brands. Sometimes that's determinant on the builder's preference, or if they're building out a community and they have a preferred brand, that's the one we go with. But in residential, we tend to put in more Carrier units in our area.
Okay.
But we also sell Daikin and the typical household names.
Okay. Do you ever, and maybe this answer is no. I don't know. Do you do mini split systems? Is there anything
we do?
Mini split? Okay.
We're seeing an increase in that market for sure. In Florida, definitely being able to air condition space like garages.
Garage for your home gym, which was totally popular during COVID.
And for you and real estate, a big thing, when you have an addition and you don't have the space in the attic to, work with ductwork, that's where we're seeing, more availability to bring in those options. In the past, I think homeowners were afraid of the the visual of,
Mhm.
having that indoor unit on the wall.
Yeah.
But there's so many options
Yeah.
now
Just
where,
travel to Europe, and that's what
yeah,
they all are. And
different
they
options.
could be trendy. They should come up with, some companies should come up with like an artwork piece that goes over it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, they do make
Make it.
picture
Oh,
frame
they do.
ones. Yep.
See?
And then,
Okay.
it can
Oh,
drop
darn it.
down
I
and
can't trademark that.
from the ceiling. So
Yeah.
there are more options than, what people are used to
Mhm.
seeing in a hotel, in Europe or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. What is the so somebody say their air conditioning goes out because, well, and here's a good question for you. So this is controversial maybe. They say, "Oh, your AC will last 30 years." Other people say, "Oh, your AC will last as long as you keep it running." But really, in Florida, is there kind of like a benchmark of when it's like 10 years, 15 years? What are your thoughts on that?
I would say there's not. It's
Okay.
a very hard question. I deal a lot with snowbirds as well.
Yes.
Running and maintaining their properties when they're here and not here.
Hmm.
And their biggest complaint is, oh, it'll last longer up north. And that really is the determinant, is the climate.
Mm.
So I can have a house on the beach directly off the water that units might only last 5 years, or
Okay.
depending on the year they bought it or the manufacturer,
Yeah.
maybe they had the coastal coating, maybe
Hmm.
it's lasting 10 years
Hmm.
and longer. So
Oh, nice. So that coastal coating really can make a difference
yeah,
too.
definitely.
Interesting.
So you really have to look at your property individually, and
Okay.
everyone really should be taking it a case by case
Hmm.
basis to find the best solution and the best product for that home.
And on that part too, proper sizing for the AC, because I know some people they'll oversize their units, or some companies will come in there and sell them like the biggest best, but it's not the proper size for the size of the home.
Yeah.
You could run into issues with that too.
I think the big thing is looking at the technology that you're putting in the home. Things are
Mhm.
changing. Have you had any construction?
Okay.
Are you sealing in the attic? Are you
Yeah.
making, are you changing, the
Hmm.
spec of the home from when the builder built it? That's
Hmm.
going to change
Hmm.
what tonnage that the house is then going to require
Right.
or not require.
True.
Oversizing is just as bad as undersizing.
Correct, correct. And if you've spray foamed your whole house, which I did, well, not here, but in North Carolina, we spray foamed our whole house. And then we had to get the HVAC all redone because it didn't fit what we had anymore.
Well,
So,
I'm glad that you
house,
did that.
yes, house science, that's
Yeah,
for
a lot
sure.
of people don't think too about climate zones being
Yeah.
different in Florida. You think, oh, it's Florida, it's all the same temperature.
Hmm.
But there are multiple climate zones just within the state of Florida,
Hmm.
and that will even change how your home can handle the humidity in different areas.
That's
So,
amazing.
different
Yeah.
zoning, all of those things have to be considered for your exact
Hmm.
climate that you're living in.
And you service just Jacksonville, or where's your whole territory?
So we will go as far down south in Florida as we can. The
Okay.
only area we don't go into is the Panhandle currently.
Okay.
So our Jacksonville office will go all the way up to the border of Georgia, and then as far down as Palm Coast as well.
Okay. The
So
whole Northeast Florida.
yes, that's right.
That's fantastic. Yeah, and Nocatee is huge. And so you have a physical place here in
We do
Nocatee?
a
Okay.
physical branch in Nocatee.
Oh,
So
lovely.
our teams, even from down south, can kind of use
Okay.
that as a hub if they are in or around our area. And then we operate out of that building as well.
Oh, I'm going to stop by and say hi.
And then a fun fact,
Okay.
the office staff currently are all Jacksonville natives.
Really? That's unusual.
It is.
All 5 of them. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
But we found that very interesting. We've all worked with each other within the industry for years,
Okay.
and just that collective. So just being from the
Yeah.
town we're serving, we think that's really important.
It is. It is. You know everything about the
Yeah.
area, and that's really important. That's great. And you're in the company size is how big?
We are just under, I believe, 500 employees
Holy
statewide.
moly. Wow. That's great. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
And an interesting thing about the company as well is we are an employee-owned business. So it's an
Okay.
ESOP.
Oh, nice.
So we are one team with one mission.
Okay.
All of us have a piece of the pie at the
Mhm.
end of the day. So we're all working
That's
collectively to make sure we're succeeding.
That is awesome. I'm so glad you were on the show, Amy. I've learned so much about Armstrong. Can't wait to see you at your office and your digs and meet some of those 500 employees. For more information on Amy and Armstrong Air and Electric, go to hgtvjax.com.